What makes a good life? You guys can answer in the comments. So what are some elements? Matthew?
Family. I know. Love.
What else? Any more? What?
Communication. Friendship.
All those are true. But now let me show you guys a few pictures of love and friendship. Well, this is a picture of love and friendship because they have like the friends, they really love each other. So those are also elements that make a good life. Without friends and family, you won't ever be encouraged. Well, actually, to me, imagination is the most important thing that makes a good life. Let me ask you guys another question. What do you think, where can you think this can happen in the picture?
Oh, in my dream.
What else?
Heaven.
Well, all those are true, like in movies and TV shows and other fiction channels, or yeah. But to me, this can only happen in your mind, in your imaginations. So, imagination literally means not to copy anything, and don't get me wrong, it's not this one. Well, if you don't have imagination, when you don't have imagination, Albert Einstein and all those very smart guys, maybe in your class or other things, or in your company, they're going to be like, what? Because my dad says that imagination is the goal to everything. Without imagination, you can't complete high school. Without imagination, we will still be on horses, riding horses. Without imagination, World War II won't stop. And without imagination, when you do your class thing, you're gonna be like this guy here. Or you're gonna just talk a bunch of rubbish that whatever you think. So imagination basically mostly means everything to me. Also, like, let me tell you a story about my dad. Once his company got a huge problem. My dad is worrying about it for a long, long time. Then, suddenly, one day he came up with an idea. But then he thought, if that idea failed, then the whole company will not success. Then he found another solution, but then the other solution was also risky. After that, one of his company friends spent like a long time on thinking the solution, on imagining what happened if I use that solution, what happened if I use that solution. So, after a long time of imagination and thinking and using the brains, he finally figured out the problem, and then the companies was saved. Well, actually, that was a story of a legend story. Not really true. As you guys can see, family and friends are also really important. Now let me tell you the importance of family and friends. As I said, without family and friends, you will never be encouraged. You will always be like, oh, I cannot do that, I cannot do that, I cannot do that. But with family and friends encouraging you, it's like, you can do this, let's go, come on, keep trying. You're gonna gain self-confidence. Then you can also get good grades. Like some kids, when they're really down themselves, they're like, oh, I cannot do that well, I cannot do that well. That's when they get bad grades. But then if you have self-confidence, you're gonna be like, oh, I can do that. Of course I can do that, that's easy. Then you're gonna have a better life ahead of you. You're gonna success in your life. You can maybe be a billionaire like that. At last, I have to say, okay, bye. See you guys next on Pro Pixel Gun 3D channel. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. Thank you.
Question?
Now it's a Q&A time.
Q&A time.
So, does anybody have a question? Matthew?
Jade?
Jade?
Okay, so, I didn't hear well regarding your dad's experience. Would you please talk more about it?
Okay. My dad actually, he really likes imagining. Like, without imagining, he thinks you can never ever score well. Well, that's absolutely not true. Without imagining, you also can score well. But most of the time in grade 12 and other grades, you need to imagine. You need to imagine that, oh, what if I do that? Then what's the result? With that kind of, if you keep imagining, you're going to have a very, very big success in your life. And math, the same thing. Science, the same thing. English, the same thing. Well, basically, math, you need to imagine, it's like, oh, if I use 6 plus 7, and then what will happen to that? So imagination is also really important in all the topics that you are learning right now. So basically, that's all about my dad and his experience. Any other questions?
I do support about your point of view regarding imagination is important and which will result in happiness in all of our lives. It is true because in my own experience, I do feel imagination is important because there was one time I'm almost failing on a subject and then I used imagination to think about myself as going to succeed, and then eventually I did. So, what type of other experiences do you have in your life? I mean, regarding imagination besides your father's?
To me, like, before I was a very shy kid. Like, I didn't really want to speak in public. So like, I still remember this speech that gave me confidence of imagination. That speech was what I gave to myself because like I was practicing just to like speak in public. That speech was actually about like some games. I was trying to do this speech in front of a mirror, but I was very shy. Then suddenly I got an idea. I did it in front of a cardboard box. I did it in front of a cardboard box. Then, when the day I need to give the presentation, I stand in front of the audience imagining that they are cardboard boxes and they are not really living. So then that's how I successfully did my speech. Everybody congratulated me after that. Any other questions?
No?
No more, then see you guys on the next channel, Pro Pixel Gun 3D Player. Bye bye!